Hi everybody. It's been a long time since I recorded last. I've been extremely busy around the house, with my son's house, with the cars, everything. Sorry, it's just really been a lot to do. So, I have been working on the car last week, actually for several weeks. Here I'm showing you how I do the mold, how I prepare the mold for, and I did it wrong. Who knew? Notice I'm putting glue on it. You'll see I'll tell you when I do the mistake here. And this is out on my outside, out in the deck patio we have. I'm gluing this to glue these together. But I did something stupid. And I didn't realize it until I took it apart. I didn't put both pieces of paper on each other. It worked out all right. I'm just clamping it just to keep it tight, but yeah. Right now I am doing the bottom. I guess I should have showed it on the plan, but this is the bottom of the car because it's like a new car or a race car of today. The bottom was filled in, nothing hanging out in the breeze to cause turbulence. Well, for 1909 or whatever it was, pretty good idea. Anyway, I got to carve the bottom mold, and I'm using the drawing I had. I keep wiping the paper off. I'm doing this at the kitchen table because I didn't feel like going to the model room, which is a mess. Anyway, so I'm getting the width from where it stops, and I'm going by the plan to where this ends, side view and top view. The problem with the top view is that is for the German one that's in Germany, not the one that was in America, which had a thinner, taller profile radiator. They actually thought this is what made it exceed the 140 mile per hour mark that held for like 3 decades before an airplane actually beat it. Anyway, I'm carving the block down to get my sides. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight because it's going to be rounded, and I'll straighten it up as I go. I'm actually making it wider than it should be, and then I get it down to the actual size as I'm finishing it. As you can see, I was using that block at one time for making my spokes, which I'm making the front wheel, the 2 front wheels now, because before I go any further I got to have the body, the radiator, the engine in to add more stuff inside the engine compartment. Oh boy. Anyway, that's what was putting me off, is all the stuff I had to do to get moving forward. And so I had to make the bottom part of the body and the upper part. The noise you're hearing is a window rattler. It's not a danger noodle, in other words a snake. It's a window rattler. And we got one in the laundry room. That's where my hobby place is, set offside in the laundry room. So anyway, sorry. I'm whittling away. I didn't lose any fingers, shockingly. You can see my clothes are dirty, and I was working on the car. Yeah, I don't care. I'll work in a model with any kind of clothes on. Notice I said clothes on, not like some of you people. Anyway, balsa wood to me is the easiest to work with, but it doesn't, you can't get crisp detail, but I like adding that anyway, so I really don't have to worry about it. I did a lot of aircraft fuselages. You can do this if you wanted to make up a car. You make a frame, you don't have the frame of a model kit, and then make up your own body work. You can do it. You can do anything you want. Now I am getting there's a angled piece that goes back under by the by where the drive chain comes out, the drive sprocket, final drive. And I'm copying the width now, how deep it's going to be, and I'm using my coping saw. Helps me cope. Anyway, just to rough it in quickly, nothing great. I thought, I'm going to try it this way. It did not like it. I don't think the blade's sharp enough. So I went back to the razor saw, which is absolutely dull, but it won't move side to side. And I was also cutting the line fatter than normal, which would make it more thicker. That way I can just sand it down to shape, because it's all got to be rounded except for the back, which has two flips out and then a rounded center. I can't even think of what it looked like. Trying to think of an item I could say it looks like, but anyway, I'm just whittling it down. Then what it's got to happen is I'll vacuum form this in plastic, which you'll see, and then I'll have to fit it to the bottom of the car. Well, I wanted the wheels on to see if everything is correct. You know, what a time now to find out you screwed up, right? No, I mean, I just felt I needed it on so I can get the motor height at the right height, and not too high, and not sticking too low. Ew. Anyway, I'm rounding the edges, and the drawings are very weak. For aircraft, it's a lot more detailed. These drawings were never meant to be used for making a model. Well, I'm using it. It's the only thing I had, and I wanted to make this thing really bad. So, well, I guess I'm at 400 subscribers. It goes up and down by 2s and 3s, but you know, I haven't posted in a while. What do I expect? I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm getting it whittled out. That's the part there. See, I'm making a mark. Now this is where it pans out. It goes round, then it goes out flat. And best do this a little at a time. Watch, I'll violate that rule severely, maybe. Then I take a rasp and smooth it out. Well, it's a rough rasp. By the time I'm done with this thing is super fuzzy. Well, I decided, I've done it before, but I always used it with thick super glue, is I decided to seal the hole out, the mold part, with thin super glue, and from now on that's what I'm going to do, because it soaked right in, and I could sand it down in that, and then give a couple sprays of Tamiya primer or something similar to it, and I get a smooth mold that way, a smoother mold that way. I mean, I've worked them down to a mirror, and what happens is you suck the air out of the balsa, and that puts in a wood grain pattern that you don't want. So that's why I added this, and I wasn't really too worried about it because it's going to be sanding on the plastic part anyway to make it smoother, so I'm not too concerned. I'm getting the angle in which that cuts down to the bottom of the car. Wish I would have just showed the plan so I could explain it, but I didn't do it, so I'm sorry. There she is. Now I'm cutting the part. I'm getting that, or cutting it out, both sides, getting the angle right so it's hitting. There was a rough, what do you want to say, a rough cut rough marking, I should say. I'm making sure everything's rounded like the car, and you can't see it, but I actually have photographs. I brought my laptop out on the kitchen table and was staring at it. I made a mess on the table for a long time doing this, so that, and I also got another video coming up here very shortly on making the front wheels. I changed how I did it on the back ones, and I really wished I would have thought of that sooner, but I'm not going to remake the back ones. They're a pain in the side. Now the rounded part would be facing up in the mold, duh, but just in case you didn't know, don't feel bad about such things. The flat part would go to the bottom, and there will be I might have to put a hole in where that groove is, so it tucks down in there. I really don't think so. It isn't that deep. Just going over it, making sure everything is fine, smoothing it out. And as far as I could tell, the sides where my thumb is extremely flat. It's that I could tell. I've never seen the real thing. Now I'm giving it a thing of super glue. And I'm not even sure if I did the other side. I don't know if I did the bottom or not. Yeah, I did. Good. I was glad to see that. And I was going to hit it with accelerator, but decided not to. And then I did. Idiot. Obviously I used the accelerator. And this stuff isn't a very good accelerator, but it worked. And I'm just wiping any excess. Now I'm smoothing it out. This was done with the body molds too, which you'll see shortly. I don't worry about the bottom, just the front, trying to close up pores of especially the front, the end grain of the wood. Whatever it is, that accelerator or the super glue really messed with the ink, which isn't going to hurt nothing. But as you see, I'm not getting sawdust, I'm getting accelerator dust or super glue dust. And no, it didn't smell or anything. I let my nose hair grow out, so it'd use it as a filter. If you believe that, subscribe. Anyway, okay. I have no idea. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I gave it the first coat of white primer, or I should have, here soon. Anyway, the car's come along. I had to get past all this to do it. There it is. So that's where it fits underneath the car. Now I'm drawing what they call an aircraft, a datum line. What it is this is actually what the center, a datum line is more, one is thrust line and the other one's a datum line. I'm not sure if that's a center or what they consider the center of balance or not. I'm not sure. Thrust line is usually a little different. So cars don't really have that, but I need that to mark my wood. There's going to be my molds for that, and I already ripped the paper off on the other side, that there, so you can see my mistake glaring. Now I'm lining, mark the datum line. There, that is. Now I'm going to take the angle where the datum line is and just trace it around, clear around the block of wood. Well, almost the whole block of wood. So I'm just lining them up. That way I have a place to make sure my mold is lined up with each other. That's what it's for. I'm tracing the view of the I want to say cockpit, the view of the body of the car, and that's the top view, or this is going to be the top view. So I decided to get my yardstick. I finally found after how many years. Not that I use it a lot, I haven't seen one in a while. And I made several different, what do you want to call it, prints of the plan, so I could cut one up and not have to worry about it. So I'm lining up the center line. Notice I didn't make it to the point. Big deal. I got to cut the block in half. There we go. Oh, I didn't put that in, me carving it out. It just was a bunch of me carving it out and carving in for the cockpit area. Now I got left and right sides. And I even do the cockpit area to strengthen that so they don't mush down in the vacuum form process. I use the shop vac that I have to suck them down or to draw them down, whatever you want to say. And these should actually draw down really well. I'm going to put some holes in about where the cockpit opening is, because I actually dished them out. That way it will draw tight to them, give me more of a and I primed them, which I don't even know if you see that. They're primed and ready to go. In fact, I know I did put a photo in of them finished. I'm going to start sanding them before the primer. Get rid of that fuzz. All I'm doing is feeling for rough spots, like a lot of standing grain. It didn't seem to raise the grain, the glue, but it does make the hair or the little things from sanding stand out until you sand them off. I think it's really quite smooth. You can get it to a mere finish. I did not need that because I'm pulling it down in 30 thousandths card. It's going to be fairly thick, so it'll be able to sand out. Thanks for watching.